Turn
Yeah.
On that note, man, prayers to our military. Look, this is the last thing I gotta say. I've never been. My father was in the military, and I've known from a very early age I'm not suitable. That doesn't make me a better person. It makes me a worse person. The guys and girls in the military who fight for our lives on a daily basis are putting their lives in danger. They're doing so unselfishly and for a wonderful cause, your freedom. So it's time to reprioritize some of this shit, man. You know, just straight up, like the complete lack of patriotism. It's time to reprioritize that for real in real life. Because I know some of my family members, I imagine some of your family members, some of friends we went to high school with, are redesigned into new people through the military and protecting our country. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, and I pray to God that you don't draft me because I'm not fit. And I admit that
Me neither.
readily. All right, gang.
Charlamagne, are we live? Are we live? Are we live? DJ Envy, are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Can the people hear my voice? Cause I'm at the Breakfast Club and I'm addressing all the lies.
I think y'all gotta really make it clear what is y'all stance. Like, don't just say stuff that let us know y'all align with black people. What is your individual personal stance?
I don't have an individual.
politically?
I just want to know. 'Cause
Politi-
I keep catching all this heat, and it's like y'all just keep ducking it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like really like an independent, kind of guy.
Mm.
Like, I kind of just look at both like parties and kind of.
So you support some things that Democrats support, and
Yeah.
some things that Republicans support.
Yeah. I think that's how. Yeah, for me.
Balance.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for communicating.
All right, man. Me too, man. I support some things that Democrats support. I support some things that Republicans support. Iran. I'm sorry, Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Bombed in the middle of the night. Dropped the press release in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Where you at with it?
I'm not gonna cap. Like,
Yeah, I noticed he just said, yeah, just yeah. He just affirmed that the information exists.
yo, I don't cap. Like, this is kind of wild because, again, the president has engaged in warlike activities, like Venezuela. No approval from Congress, right, for any of this. We just
Out here.
We just pulling up on people. For what reason? I'm unaware. And
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
really
You
unaware?
you could enlighten me. Yeah, I didn't.
So, bro, I be sending the information. So, are you really unaware, or you just don't want to represent the information?
No. So I want you to tell the people why we're in Iran.
So, this is my understanding.
Again.
Again? You said again? So, I think there's a common misconception. Iraq.
So we were in Iraq
It
before.
was in Iraq.
Now
Right.
we're in Iran.
We're in Iran.
Right.
So I think that I'm glad you said it, because that is a common misconception, because it's a one-letter difference,
Yeah.
and it's a foreign nation. So we were in Iraq previously. What was that, from 2004, 2000? Mid-2000.
Obama was in office when it ended, right?
Yeah, it was 2000 for about 10 years. So 04 to 14, I think, before. So this is different than that. This is Iran. This is Khomeini, who was just killed. He is a despot, a dictator, a authoritarian ruler.
In Iran, you can get arrested for walking a dog and then they can take your dog away because according to Islam, dogs are najis, which means unclean. In Iran, you will get arrested, not can, will, if you're a female solo singer. It is against the law. In Iran, not that you have to wear hijab, but if your hijab is not to the liking of the regime forces, they can push you forcefully into a van and take you to jail. And then things that happen in those jails, let's just say that they're not ethical. In Iran, you are not allowed to change your religion or choose your religion. If you do so, you will be executed. In Iran, they would line us up as children, force hijab on us, and force us to chant "Death to America." I mean, I wouldn't call that school. I would call that a cult that is trying to brainwash children into a terrorist mindset. In Iran, there are stations with regime forces, and they can stop your car and see if the person next to you is a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or you're married to. If you're not married to them, you can get arrested. In 5 years, imagine that a Big Mac went from $6 to $600. That's exactly what happened in Iran. Well, roughly, I think it's even more than that. And everything I'm telling you is not even the worst thing that's happening in Iran. Every time people request a regime change and they start to protest, the regime shuts off the internet and starts shooting people with military-grade weapons. Children. Regime forces in the past 2 to 3 weeks have killed more than 50,000 people. So yeah, if you have opinions about how Iranians should feel, perhaps you should go to Iran, live with the regime, and maybe raise a child or two. And then we can speak about it. More than that. And everything I'm telling you is not even the worst thing that's happening in Iran. Every time people request a regime change and they start to protest, the regime shuts off the internet and starts shooting people with military-grade weapons. Children. Regime forces in the past 2 to 3 weeks have killed more than 50,000 people. So yeah, if you have opinions about how Iranians should feel, perhaps you should go to Iran, live with the regime, and maybe raise a child or two. And then we can speak about it.
She said in the last 2 to 3 weeks they killed 50,000 people. This is going on for 47 years.
Wow.
They shut the internet off and start shooting people. Why do they do that? So the rest of the world can't be alerted. So, you know, was it a humanitarian cause that caused us to go over there? I don't think so. I think that our dealings with Iran over the past 30 years have been very unique and specific. We've continued to supply them money in exchange for promises that they would change their behaviors, stop aligning with our national enemies, things of this nature. And I think we've delivered more than $100 billion to Iran in the past 10 years. And so, or 15 years, because that's Obama gave them like 56 billion. So, from my understanding, what we're doing, what we did in Venezuela is we choked the oil supply. What we're doing in Iran is choking the oil supply, and that's what's to our advantage.
Right.
So
threefold. One, we have 47 million Iranian women who now have a hope of freedom. That's a good thing. Okay, we have an disgusting terrorist regime ended, and the people finally have hope to create their own nation again. Okay, so that's the hope. When we zoom out in geopolitical realm, okay, which is not my specialty either, but I have a ton of friends in the military who specialize in this. We see that this is actually avoiding a boots on the ground war with China when we are able to choke their oil supply, and the president and our military are exemplary in doing so right now. They've cut the oil supply from Venezuela, and they've now reduced it and choked the oil supply to China in Iran. And now what that does is presumably prevent China from having an absolute stronghold on the globe. So this is a strategic move geopolitically that we may not fully understand, but I absolutely trust that this is best for our nation, and we should be America first.
Foreign enemy, China, cannot control the oil supply through those those regimes. So that's the reason why we're doing it.
Okay, because I know the president was talking most recently about them having nuclear weapons as well.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, and that's not to be tolerated, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it.
And so this isn't, I mean, Trump isn't the first person to speak to Iran's history. He's not the first politician. I saw an interesting mashup of politicians speaking to this, and this is what other politicians said.
What's the message to Iran? Don't.
What is your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't. I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care. What's the message to Iran?
Don't. They dropped the Bryson Tiller on niggas like, don't. you there. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I got a couple colleagues that actually from Iran. I haven't talked to them about it to get their take.
You should certainly do that.
I plan to. One of them actually I'm really close with. She's like been to my house. Her kid has been to my kid's birthday.
Did you think we wanted to discuss this, bro? This is a journalistic pursuit that we're doing. So you want to get that real world information.
No, that's a fact. Because she's really from there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, and
I want to get some insight as to how she feels.
Again, it's the same situation as previously. Iranians are dancing in the street. Parades, happy that the dictator is dead. They have a proposed leader coming in. He is a prince. His name is Reza. I can't remember his name right now. But it's pretty similar to what's going on in Venezuela. Now, what I will say is this. I don't like war. I don't like the prospect of war. I don't like engaging in war. And I don't like the position it puts Americans in when there is a war on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people don't have the wherewithal to change their behaviors to respond to the fact that war may come. And so,
What do you mean by that?
I mean that if I'm daddy and I'm running the household and I'm doing it in such a way that my wife and kids can play and frolic freely, I need to be running the household in such a way that when I tell them, don't do any of that shit for the next 3 weeks, we're at war, they're willing to listen.
Got it. Okay.
And unfortunately, the kids in America, they don't listen. They don't really understand that the reason why they get to run free and frolic and play is because daddy is structuring other things over here. So, if war does occur, I hope that people are prepared. I hope that people don't think their claims of boredom. Oh, I'm bored, I want to go outside. Well, if they drop a bomb, gang, I don't.
Prospecting land in rural areas,
Yeah, I think
and
I seen.
compounds. It feels real right now.
Yeah, because this is Iran. This isn't Venezuela. These guys are going to try. They're going to try to strike back.
Yeah, they're.
Is your side seeking, or will you seek, a ceasefire with the United States at this point in time, and with Israel?
I don't see any room for diplomacy anymore, because Donald Trump has been deceiving others and not keeping with his promises.
How does all of this end then? If you say right now there's no room for negotiation, President Trump says he wants complete surrender, what does that lead to?
There's no room unless the economic pressure would be built up to the extent that other countries would intervene.
They're more formidable in that capacity. I saw that there may be. It's more likely that there'll be a cyber attack or some type of security breach here in America than arms, like
Or boots on the ground.
Yeah. But this is kind of. I'm not surprised that this has happened.
I'm extremely surprised at that. I'm not sure why
Trump is really. He's a real. Bro, we just talked about you gave him the GOAT title. He's the gangster's president. Gangsters. When you're a gangster, you can't just talk it. You gotta be about it. Like.
Well, when I say the phrase "I'm not surprised," I mean that I expected what occurred to occur. I didn't expect this to occur. If we're coming on Donald Trump, I like the ideas more as opposed to talking about the figures who proposed the ideas. Because let's just pretend this was Barack Obama following through with what he said he was going to do with Iran.
Nuclear-armed Iran is not a challenge that can be contained. It would threaten the elimination of Israel, the security of Gulf nations, and the stability of the global economy. That's why the United States will do what we must to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
If I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years.
Iran has American blood on their hands.
And he's the one who did it. So go from there. Barack said he was going to do this. Now let's look through that. Because we keep talking about the person.
Because of persona. I mean, he didn't come in as a war happy president, right?
Who?
Kind of really Obama, kind of really like.
What is the idea?
So I wouldn't
We're
have been
talking about personas.
No. So you're saying how would I feel? Because the response would be different based on temperament and disposition.
What do you know about? Okay.
Because Trump's kind of like, I'm with that. Like he brings that energy. So like that's why I'm saying like, oh, I'm not really surprised that he standing on what he said.
That's what Obama said. He was with that. He said this. Like he said the same things Donald Trump is saying in different ways.
Yeah, I never heard him say that. So I guess maybe he didn't say it in the right way.
Who?
Obama. Because I clearly know what Trump had said.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
saying Obama said these things? I don't remember any of that.
Oh, I don't expect you to remember passing statements from a congressional hearing 15 years ago. You're not like
Right.
if you were tuned and tapped in, I wouldn't expect you to remember that. But if you're not tuned and tapped in, you certainly won't remember. You wouldn't know about it. But I mean, it's.
So in response to this, so Dubai has gotten bombed.
Yeah, so bases in Dubai. So again, what Iran did was they went ahead and sent off some missiles to nearby American bases.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Trump has said is that he has spoken to those nations like Dubai and asked them to stand down, but they just won't. They're strong fighters and they're gonna fight back. So
prayers to some people out there. I actually know some people that live out there, so
For sure.
And they like could really hear the bombs and shit like that. Like, so yeah, prayers to everybody out there in Dubai. Hopefully, people can get home safely or flee. I know the airport is shut down, and it's a whole. It's not a great scenario.
it's not a great scenario
Currently.
You know what I mean? If you want to be a world traveler, you should stay abreast of world news, like what's going on in the world around you, what issues you may find yourself in politically, moving forward.
It's known as one of the safest places in the world. Yeah.
It is. But the thing is, they've been talking about this situation since mid-January. And so I know you wanted to celebrate your birthday, be a baddie, and meet a prince.
Well, I know they live out there. These people that I'm talking about, they've been living out there for years.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's the
again,
position you put yourself in. I'm going to be real with you.
yeah.
I know you have the wrong phone.
Oh.
I was looking for this phone.
Let's take 1 minute to tell them to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to put that behind every single video. Or in front of it. One of the two. So, I'm going to say like, you say comment, you say subscribe. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like,
Comment.
Subscribe
to the Heaven on Earth Society podcast. Boom.